Hello, and welcome back to the Summoner's Guide to Final Fantasy XIV. We are getting into our first 24-player raid in the 4.x series, the Royal City of Rabanastre. All of these 24-player raids from the Stormblood series are collectively referred to as Return to Ivalice. Ivalice, of course, being the place that Final Fantasy Tactics as well as Final Fantasy XII take place. Any fan of... I'm not as well-versed in Tactics as I am in 12. I love Final Fantasy XII. And so I spent plenty of time in Rabanastre. This is a fun little representation. A couple familiar bosses. The first two bosses are from 12, the other two are from Tactics. Alright, so, starting with Mateus, one of the Espers from 12. Now, Mateus has 4 distinct phases, and we're probably only going to see 2. This first phase begins with that attack Unbind. Mateus does an awful lot of things in this movie. That spiral of ice is there's going to be basically this ice dancer that will travel along that path. You need to get into enough players need to get into these water spouts to close them off, basically, before the ice dancer gets to them. The aqua spheres need to be destroyed. The smaller spheres you will need to try to destroy before the ice dancer gets to them. Basically, the more of these things that you do, the less of the mechanics you'll have to worry about. Now, a few of these things didn't get taken care of, which is why we had to deal with that Blizzard 3 and the Ice Slave, but we took care of enough of the mechanics that this shouldn't really be an issue. And try not to get hit by the Ice Dancer either. You can see it over there on the left. Especially if you've taken any of those water damage, and you'll have an effect called Drowned, which means if you get hit by the Ice Dancer, you will in fact turn to ice. Once the Ice Dancer completes her loop, she will rebind with Mateus. Mateus will then cast Dual Cast, and then cast Blizzard 4, which will put a bunch of AoEs in the field. The best place to get out of them is this corner here. If any of those ice spheres didn't get destroyed, they will turn it into ice blocks, which will actually increase the amount of damage that will go out there, so you don't want that to happen. You also don't want to lose your pet. Let's get my pet back here. Now, after a few moments, after this first phase is over, after the Blizzard forecast, you'll see this happen, and you'll start getting this breathless debuff that you'll need to take care of by killing these flume toads and then stepping into the air bubbles that they create when they die. If you get targeted by these ice shards, don't run them into the bubbles or they'll pop. The bubbles need to be up so that players can continue to use the breathless condition. If the breathless condition ever runs up to if it ever gets up to 10 stacks, then you will die. Alright, that phase is now over. We're about to get into a third phase, but it's probably going to be irrelevant because Mateus is about to die. So yeah, we didn't actually see the third phase, which or the fourth phase, because really everybody's so well geared now. You're just not gonna ever see that. You'll be lucky to see the beginning of the third, well, very unlucky, I should say, to see the beginning of the third phase. So, it's really no point in me really explaining the third or fourth phase. If you're interested, you can watch the videos that were made around the time that the patch came out, and those mechanics will certainly be explained. But again, if you're running this dungeon right now and you're not running it minimum item level, you're gonna revert. You're not gonna have. Let me start that sentence over. You're not gonna see any of the mechanics in phases 3 and 4. This add phase is very simple. These guys go down quickly, but eventually a red chocobo will come up. This is the infamous level 99 red chocobo that everybody who's played 12, and I don't know if it's in Tactics or not, but the level 99 red chocobo is infamous for showing up and ruining your day. There he is. So when the red chocobo shows up, get out of the way. It's going to have a rather massive AoE that hurts very bad. Then a bunch of chests will show up that, surprise, surprise, are actually mimics. Alright, I am leaving everything as is, because I want to have everything ready to go at the beginning of this second boss. Now, this second boss used to be the raid killer. If you could get past Hashmal, you can get past anything. Nowadays, Hashmal isn't nearly as complicated, or nearly as hard to clear, but you still need to be careful. I am Alliance C. I need to keep that in mind. Hopefully somebody will be kind enough to put the marks down, because you kind of need them in this fight. Or we can wing it. Alright, control tower. Watch out for this. Control tower will rise up, then it'll get slashed and fall in a certain direction. You don't want to be where it falls. You also don't want to be on the side of this guy that has the fire on it. That hurts very badly and puts a rather massive dot on you, which will probably kill you. Alright, now let's see. Several of our esteemed allies got killed by that attack. Okay, good. Alright, command tower. You need to kind of split up into your alliances, ideally, but because we didn't put down marks, nobody knows where those alliances are supposed to go. Because the hard part that you're going to have to deal with here is that in each section, a dust sphere will show up, and those dust spheres totally need to die quickly, or sand spheres, I apologize. So ideally, you split the alliances up into 3 sections. And you kill them all. But it looks like we got them all anyway, that's good. So now you need to make sure you kill the command tower before the duty gauge fills up. It's only in the 40s right now, so that shouldn't be an issue. Dodge AoEs as they become relevant. Pray your allies don't keep running the AoEs into you. Get out of the control tower. Okay, that one's coming this way, and that one's also coming this way. So get out of the way. Keep moving if those things are following you. Watch the towers. That one's going that way, but that one's coming this way, so I better go this way. Oh, and he jumped, so watch where he shows up. Don't be where the fire is. And watch out, because your allies are probably going to run those AoEs right into you. Alright, so, we're looking good so far. We managed to get out of that misstep where half of my alliance died at the beginning of the fight. Again, it happens. That room that cleaves half the arena will wreck you. Oh, when the Earth Hammer shows up, just get away from where those rocks materialize. They are going to be shockwave AoEs. Now wait, when the Pen and Stone Golems appear, there are 2 ways to handle it. It looks like we're handling it the efficient way, using a caster limit break to wipe out everything. These guys will wreck you if you let them live too long. Now, there could be a mechanic that shows up that involves more sand spheres, but we killed it before that happened. So, very shortly after that last phase that we saw with the ads, the room will split into 3 sections again, and there will be another sand sphere that shows up in each. You need to kill them before they use the attack to dust, because that's a massive room-wide AoE, and if all 3 of them go off, it's a wipe. Once you deal with those sand spheres, it's just basically repeating mechanics until you're done. But we didn't even get that far, and I'm kind of glad we didn't get that far, because I really don't like dealing with that mechanic. And it's just as well when you put out enough DPS and you don't even have to worry about it. These Seek Bandits go down without a fight, but then you'll have a few more powerful ads show up. The Archeo, Demon, and Lions. Now these are actually Chimera-style enemies, so they'll use the dragon's voice, the ram's voice, all those same attacks that you're used to seeing from them. So just be ready to deal with that. So when all those enemies are down, make sure you rolled on all of your gear. onto the Garamsith Waterway. The Garamsith Waterway I always thought was one of the more visually striking dungeons in 12, even though it's a very early dungeon. And I'm glad it found its way into this particular raid. When you hit this extra section of the water, you'll be automatically shunted into into the part of the waterway connected with your alliance. C goes to the left, B goes down the middle, A goes to the right. Just follow the path. And when you get to the end, there will be a switch for you to hit. And once all three alliances have hit their switches, then a passage will open to the third boss. Alright, our switch has been hit. And Alliance B got to their section. Or never mind, that's Alliance A. Alliance B comes out of the water on the other side. Yes, this individual from A is making a most meritorious suggestion that somebody place the markers. I'm really not 100% sure of the positions for the markers myself, but you do need the markers for this next fight, to be sure. Because there is an ad phase that might cause you some trouble. Okay, looks like we're not going to get markers. Hopefully somebody plays markers, and we don't. I mean, we got through the second boss. We got through the second boss alright without markers, but I wouldn't really risk this one without markers. Looks like we're not getting markers. Okay, well, here goes nothing. Alright, this guy's got a lot of mechanics as well. Really all these big raid bosses do. If you find yourself with a marker over your head, run in toward the boss. Because he's going to do a charge attack at you, and then immediately basically cut half the room off with a massive AoE. Oh good, we are getting markers. Okay, where he stops, he's going to do a massive half of the room AoE, which is why you kind of want to run it in, so he doesn't move much, and it's easier for the players to get out of the way of that thing. When he casts Crush Weapon, watch out. You might get yourself targeted. I did not. If you get targeted by the AoE, just keep in mind it's going to follow you about 2 or 3 ticks before you have to stop dealing with it. When he uses Trample, he's going to go in a figure-8 pattern. Now, unlike most AoE markers, you're not safe once the marker goes away. You need to wait till he actually passes you. Now that was poor timing. I'm going to lose my bottom button. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Shoot. Okay. I'm Alliance C, so I'm going to start working my way toward the C marker, because I'm probably going to have to deal with this momentarily. Alright, again, see how it's following the players that were initially marked. Trample does its figure 8, just don't be in the figure 8 when he uses it, and wait till he's completely done with the charge before you get back into position on him. Now eventually, he's going to jump out, 3 ads are going to appear in these 3 locations. each alliance needs to get to their respective location to kill their ad. All 3 ads need to die before the duty gauge charges up. Now, when the duty gauge, when this happens, you get into the middle, but as I'm doing right now, keep an eye. When he stops, run to the side. Not everybody does this, but you should, because you take most damage if you're standing right in his path. If you're off to the side, you'll take far less damage. And if you're shielded, you may not even take anything, like I didn't take anything that time. When he uses Embrace, those little blue circles will be on the ground. They're basically mines, and if you step on one, you will be bound, and therefore unable to dodge any new attacks that he's throwing at you. So keep an eye out where they are, and just don't get near any of them. Until they go off on their own like they just did, then you're safe. Trample, watch for figure 8, and from here, be careful. Occasionally, when he gets done with his trample, he will go right into Cry of Victory. When he uses Pomp and Circumstance, well, as you can see, it's just your standard Shockwave AoE. Alright, there's another Embrace. Watch out for that. Crush Weapon. I didn't get targeted. Good. Sometimes he'll do that where he covers basically the middle of the arena. This is a very prime time for yourself to get caught into the Embrace. So don't get yourself trapped in that landmine attack there. Alright, there's another Embrace. He only has really one more mechanic that you're going to have to deal with here. There's Embrace, so don't get stuck in that. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm going to use this so I get it off before he uses Dark Geese. When he uses Dark Geese, a bunch of circles are going to appear. Don't step in the circles. That won't do anything. What you need to do is actually activate them. Once all of the circles are activated, if you get it in time, there will be some safe zones for you to get into. If you didn't get all the circles activated in time, you will not have a safe zone, and it will probably be a wipe. And just remember, for Dark Geese, you don't stand in the circles to deactivate them. You actually have to click on them. Alright, Embrace. There's an Embrace. Ooh. This could be trouble. Yeah, I'm gonna take hit from that. But we've got him dead, so we're not even gonna worry about it. Alright. That's boss 3, and I have no clue. I have no clue where I'm even going. I'm going there. And I will skip this. This boss, you either love him, or you either love this fight, or you hate this fight. I actually really like this fight. The main mechanic that you're going to have to deal with is called Divine Commandment, where this guy will give you a command, but you have to figure out whether you actually need to obey it or not. It's a Simon Says mechanic, and I love it. So basically, when he's about to use this attack, you're going to see either a angel face on your screen or a demon face. If you see the angel face, obey the command. If you see the demon face, do exactly the opposite of what you're told. And I'll show you what I mean as we go, and there's of course plenty of other mechanics to deal with. But this is actually a really fun fight, and I enjoy this one very much. go. There we
It
go.
is to be a fight then. I am only too happy to oblige.
I need to remember to use devotion more often, because it helps.
Like sheep before the wolf.
There's the angel face. What's he going to tell me to do? Flee and not stop, so I'm going to keep on running. If you fail that mechanic, you take damage, and you also get a stacking debuff called Unnerved. If you get 3 stacks, you turn into a chicken and lose your control of your character for a time. Later in the fight, this could be actually quite deadly. So do your best to not get your, to not fail that mechanic. Okay, angel face. First ones, a couple are always going to be angel face, by the way. Turn away. Alright, I succeeded. Judgment Blade. A couple players are going to be marked with a sword above their head. They need to stack in the middle. You need to be somewhere that isn't the middle. He's going to go jump away and put down a... I hope I got out of that. I didn't. Okay, not only did I get wasted by that attack, because I really shouldn't have risked that, I also got 1 stack of Unnerved. But since I died, that doesn't make any difference. Alright. That was a stupid move on my part. I should have waited until that attack resolved and then crossed one. Because you actually have time between the time that the Judgment Blades go off and the time that the Shockwave goes off. I thought I could make it, and I was greatly mistaken. So kill those ads when they first appear. Once you've done that, then these crystals will show up. And they need to die before the enemy's limit or duty gauge turns up.
You do not belong in my world. Step into nothing.
All right. There is the demon face. So what's he going to tell me to do? Flee and not stop. So I'm just going to stop.
You will be judged.
Alright, I succeeded.
The world has no place for
Gnawing
such
Dread.
wretches.
Here's the
Your
attack
praise
everybody
forfeit.
hates. Now there's going to be a spinning hand above my head. Basically, if I try to move, I'm only going to move in the direction that the hand is pointing, not the direction I'm actually pushing my control stick.
You are the blood to stain the circle.
Fortunately, I managed to avoid all the attacks without having to move this time. Alright, waiting for the demon face. Okay, so flee and not stop. So I'm going to stop.
You will be judged.
When those swords appear above your head, that's actually the countdown for the deadline of when you actually need to be doing what you're commanded to do, or not doing what you're commanded to do. Angel face. Turn away. 1. Boom. Success. Alright, Judgment Blade. Not for me. Oh, by the way, at this point of the fight, touching the edge of the arena will turn you into a zombie. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Okay. That was not ideal, but we got out of it. I'm going to try to res somebody. Alright, Trepidation is your standard get into the AoE before it falls move. course, at this point, also, somebody's going to be infected or afflicted with crushed weapon. So if it's you, don't be the one standing in the circles, because dodging the crushed weapon and getting into a circle, I'm not going to say it can't be done, because I have done it, but I would advise against it. Alright, what do we got? Angel Face. Turn away.
You will be judged.
Alright, looks like we're not going to see the really hard gnawing dread pattern. That's good. If you wait long enough, he'll use gnawing dread and then basically cover the arena in a big AoE that affects everything but a small corner of the room, and gnawing dread makes it really hard to get into that corner. So that's fun, but it didn't happen this time, and that's good. Alright, so there you go. That is the Royal City of Rabanastre. Not particularly difficult anymore, but still a lot of fun. I'll pass on those, but I will need on all these. Probably not get any of them. But that's it for the 4.1 content. Now I need to start getting ready for the 4.2 content, a couple of 4-player dungeons, and an 8-player trial to deal with. So until then, have a wonderful day.